I was like strapped to the bed. And then as she got closer, it was like this disfigured, decaying old woman.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know. I bet you do.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's over with.
I was about to.
Were you looking for the?
I was looking for. Could you see me? I was looking for the
master mic.
The one we normally have.
I know. I
We've
feel like
changed things
we're
up.
so. I feel like we're like lesser than because we don't have the overhead mic. Anytime you see that in a behind the scenes shot, you're like, oh yeah, it's a good production.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we have upgraded. I think the each having our own individual mic thing.
I like it. I
an
like
upgrade.
having something to hold. But also, I do want to try. Yours is on, right?
Yeah. How silly would that be?
That would be crazy.
It's on.
Okay, I just want to make
it's
sure.
Not anymore on. It is so turned on.
Oh.
Yep.
But I do think we should fuck around with the lobs and see if we can get those to work. I think maybe that was a user error.
Law of and order. Ching ching. Welcome to the Ever Forward Podcast, your friendly backyard hangout by artists for artists. I'm Tyler Tackett.
And I'm Mair Mulroney.
Hey, baby.
How you doing?
I'm good. Can I tell you something? I'm out the gate.
Sure.
I'm good. I've been a little bit out of it today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I have been too, but I don't know why. I think
It's
that's
the
because I
weather.
couldn't really. Yeah, anytime it's gray in LA, I don't know what to do.
Gray in LA.
It doesn't make sense to me. If the sun is not like burning through where I'm like, I have to seize the day, then I'm just depressed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've been depressed?
It's not so much depression. I feel sluggish and slow. Like I need vitamin D. Don't.
I didn't say anything.
Don't.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to.
Man, you know what part of it is, though?
Yesterday?
We did have a very,
Mm.
yesterday. Oh, yeah. Oh, for me? Yeah, definitely. I was going to say part of it is probably that killer kettlebell workout we just did.
Oh yeah, my back hurts.
Yeah, carrying this team. Yo, I feel like now that we've done kettlebells, we do a podcast, we're that much closer to being Joe Rogan.
We're pretty close.
Mm.
Yeah. And you know what? 11 years ago, as many people listened to his podcast as who listened to ours. So we're on the right track, really.
Are you telling me that I have to do this shit for 11 years?
No, we'll be fine.
This is probably our last episode, if I'm being honest.
No, it's not.
Kind of over it.
We're doing another one tomorrow.
I think I'm going to change careers. I'm thinking something in finance.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I could be.
You couldn't.
What is that supposed to mean?
You wouldn't like those people. You wouldn't like them at all. You wouldn't like the way they think.
Yeah.
You wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I can usually find something to love about everybody. Almost everybody.
Nah.
I do have a little bit of a shortage.
You don't like rich people is your problem. You don't like them. You automatically think less of a person.
That's not true.
And not
That's
even,
not
just,
true.
Can I tell you?
That's not true.
I'm not even talking about rich. Like I'm not talking about wealth because that there's something about people who are wealthy. Like when you've just never had to touch things, there's something you're a little bit different. Like you just
Sure.
think differently, right?
Yeah.
You're just like anybody who wasn't poor. I feel like you think of them as rich and you're just like, fuck them. And you're like, no, I mean, maybe their parents just tried to live in this one school district. So they spent all of their money trying to live there so that they could send their kids to a good school. It doesn't mean they didn't struggle, you know? Didn't mean they didn't have issues.
I feel like you're painting an unfair picture. It's not. No. Rich people are fine.
Yeah. I like some rich people.
Yeah.
It's good to have some of them in your corner,
Look, it's
man.
not that. It's not that. It's a mix of a couple things. What I don't like is anyone, whether it's a financial thing or just for whatever reason, I don't like anyone behaving like they're better than anyone else. That bothers me. And it's not to say that all rich people are that way, but that is something that I don't like that'll turn me off. And admittedly, I grew up in Podunk Nowhere, USA.
Yeah.
And I love where I came from. However, when you come from the sticks, when you come from the other side of the tracks,
the actual other side, I was there. I saw it.
I literally did take you to the other side of the tracks where I lived.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. Hey, man. I have to be honest though. When you grow up a certain way and it's all you know, you don't feel like you're any different. You just kind of adjust to this is what life is, right? Especially when I didn't travel a lot as a kid. I didn't have a lot of outside exposure. My pawpaw was very, very good. My pawpaw Walt is a gangster. Shout out pawpaw Walt. He was really good about every summer I would go stay with him for like a week or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just me, Mom, pawpaw, because I'm really close with both sets of my grandparents. And pawpaw was such a gangster. He would always plan like during that 2 weeks we'd go do something. Right?
Yeah.
We'd go somewhere, just in Texas, a couple hours away, nothing crazy. Maybe Oklahoma, but nothing.
What's there?
Not much.
We had a whole conversation about Oklahoma the last episode.
Did we? Oh yeah, because of Nathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Papa would always make it a point we would go somewhere that had something really fun to do, like maybe an amusement park or something, but also had like a museum or something like that. So we'd go.
Or did you go to? What about battlefields? Was he like a battlefield kind of guy?
He was a like anything kind of guy. Papa, I went through the list of like I don't know. This will actually be fun. This will actually be fun. Papa would take me somewhere where there was always something fun to do, something educational to do. So we'd do things around Texas, but I didn't have a lot of outside exposure beyond that. So when you live in a small town like that, you don't think that you're missing out on anything, which in truth you're not. It's just different lifestyles. And I got to grow up playing in the woods. I got to run pretty free, and have a lot of cool experiences. So I don't have anything against rich people. It's just where I grew up, you look at those certain people and it's out of jealousy, I'm sure, and projection and things like that. You're like, oh, that's the enemy, right? It's not true. Of course that's not true. But anyway,
some rich people are very, very good, but
people are people.
Yeah.
Your financial state doesn't really matter. However, here's what we're gonna do. So at one point in time, I don't know why I got this idea, but I went through like the people, the family members that kind of quote unquote kind of raised me, like my core group I was around the most growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, if I had to attribute one thing that I learned from them, like if I had to take that one particular person and be like, what's the main thing I learned from them that I carry over with me today, right? Mm-hmm. So for instance, I had in my group of people I was thinking about, it was both my grandparents, my mom and papa on both sides, my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of my core group. So, for example, my mama Jane, I say she taught me how to love.
Aw.
Right?
Are we going to get sappy on this? Is that what we're doing right now?
Perhaps.
Oh, that's cute.
No, I'm going somewhere though. Trust me, I got something. So Mama Jane was all about love. To take it back to what we were just talking about, Papa Walt was very curious. He taught me to be curious. He was always doing something, always learning something, always building something. He played like every musical instrument. We'd always go somewhere. He wrote a book. It's on the shelf. He's kind of a Renaissance man in that way. I went down the list. Mom taught me how to laugh.
Yeah.
Or rather, Mom taught me how to play.
Yeah.
Just play.
Oh, yeah.
And you spend 30 seconds around my mother and you'll know why. She's the definition of play, in the best possible way. Dad taught me how to work. Mama Gwen taught me to be passionate. Papa Ray taught me how to listen. My Uncle Stephen taught me how to say fuck you. And my Aunt Ellen taught me how to forgive. Those are like the core lessons I could attribute. So all that to say, who would be your kind of list of people in that regard? I assume mom, dad, Tommy. Is there anybody else you would add?
Yeah, Nathan's mom really raised me for the most part. So
got you.
And I wasn't super close. I wasn't close with my grandparents on my dad's side. They were just always old. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've had that conversation before, but yeah, so Nathan's mom really raised me a lot, and she taught me forgiveness, she taught me manners, she taught me
Hang on, you're not playing the game right.
Oh, it's only like one thing?
No. Yes, but first we have to establish the key players.
Oh, okay.
So let's we got mom, dad, Tommy.
Well, I'm the older one, so
yeah, but the people that kind of formulated like who you are, the people you're around the most, your immediate family, and even if they're younger, they do help you learn stuff just because you learn stuff. Tommy teaches me shit all the time.
Right? Okay, so yeah, my mom, my dad, Marta was huge. Tommy.
Probably Nathan.
Oh, Nathan 100%.
For sure. Friends count. If it's someone that was like a formative or someone that was in your like formative years that you attribute like part of like who you are as a person, I guess is.
Yeah. Them. And then my grandma and grandpa, my mom, I'm on mom's side. And then on my dad's side, like all my aunts and uncles.
Fucking Christ.
Which is a lot of them, but we spent a lot of time with them. So.
But the ones I would say narrow it down to like, give me, what did I say? I said, 4 mom, dads. Give me like 7 or 8. So mom, dad, Tommy, Marta, Nate.
So mom, dad, we'll do mom, dad, Marta, Nate. Grandma, grandpa, and then let's say Uncle Matt. Okay.
And Tommy. I really think Tommy should be in there, even though he's younger.
Yeah, then Tommy too.
Okay. Cool. Great. Okay, so let's go down the list now. Okay. You have to attribute one thing, like the core part, and it doesn't have to be the same like answers that I gave, but like the thing, the one like attribute above all else, if you had to single it to one from each person.
Okay. Marta, manners.
Ooh, great. Okay.
Yeah. Mom, hold your ground.
Ooh, okay. Okay. So like hold your ground. So like confidence, or would that be like
I think confidence, but it's like mainly in like business or in even in friendships and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Like if something doesn't feel right, fucking say something.
Okay.
Which I didn't always listen to, but I do now.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Okay. Marta, mom. How about dad?
Dad, probably. Oh man. I don't know.
Man. You and your dad have a very similar sense of humor.
Maybe that's what it was. The sense of humor.
I see. I see the sense of humor. Your dad's got a lot of love in his heart, and he can be real sappy for someone that is, wants to be seen as, kind of tough.
Yeah.
And he is, but like he's also he can be a little lover boy.
Sense of humor, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Then, yeah.
Okay. Sense of humor is great.
Yeah. But Matt was sense of humor too.
Well, okay. So how would you differentiate between the two? Like what would be
Matt was more like hard ass though. Like he's like the New England fucking,
maybe like a I don't want to say like a self-respect.
It's kind of like toughen up. Like tough, like that kind of like
strength.
Like bully you love.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you fucking idiot. Like that type of like, oh, thanks. You know?
Yeah. But what's the quality from him that you think you carry with you that is like a good quality? So is it a sense of strength maybe, or self-assurance?
Maybe self-assurance.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. If you had to like boil all those things you're talking about down.
Yeah.
Okay. And how you said Marta, how about Nate? Nathan, for if you haven't watched any of the other episodes or followed along, Nathan is Mair's childhood best friend.
Yeah, he's like my brother.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah. He taught me how to be tough, like, because I was always the only girl, and I was very girly.
Okay.
For a very brief moment in time, and then I became like very tomboyish because I was.
You're a healthy mix of the two.
Yeah. He taught me how to like get dirty and like play sports. And,
fuck yeah, dude! You need that.
And brawl, like if need be.
Let's go.
Yeah, he taught me that. He taught me loyalty too. Like that's somebody. Actually, that's probably the best thing. That
loyalty is great.
Loyalty. Because my brother taught me how to brawl too. He
Sure.
was a little handful.
Yeah, Tommy will throw down.
Tommy will throw the fuck down. But yeah, no, I think he taught me like loyalty of like, dude, what do we need to do? You know,
Right.
that. And
Okay.
my grandma taught me fuck you. Very
Interesting.
fuck you.
Grandma, huh?
Yeah, she was a Marine. She was like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
tell that a little bit of history.
I think I already told that in
Say it
one
again.
Of the
Fuck
podcast
it.
episodes.
I guarantee
Yeah,
most people haven't watched anything else.
She was one of the first female Marines, like
so
ever.
sick.
She was stationed in San Diego. But yeah, she was like the very first group of female Marines.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Do you know like roughly what year that would have been
I
or
don't.
decade?
I don't. Do I want? I maybe want to say the 40s, maybe earlier.
Okay.
Maybe earlier than
Very
the
rough
40s.
guess,
Yeah.
That's so sick, dude. What an interesting bit of history to be a part of. And
Yeah.
you know what's let's finish first before I go off on a
And
tangent.
then grandpa's very grandpa taught me like, oh, he also taught my mom who also taught me, but it's like very like think before you speak, which I don't always do, but kind of I've said this about him before on the podcast for sure, but like there's never a reason to be mean to somebody. Like you can get into arguments, you can get into disagreements. Like you don't have to like somebody, you don't always have to get along, but there's never any reason to just be mean. Like there's no excuse for it. And that shows low intelligence, truthfully. So he would never be mean, like just ever.
You know what I think the roots of that are is like empathy.
Empathy and he's very smart, and he was very intelligent. So like his thought was always like, his first go-to would always be like, okay, if this person's acting this way, what are they going through? He's not excusing it,
Of course.
not excusing the behavior, but kind of like, but not taking it personal to where like he would need to get nasty back.
Yeah.
He would just be like, okay.
Well, I feel like that's probably the best approach. Well, I feel like with empathy being like being able to, even if you don't agree with whatever the person's doing or saying, empathy is like the ability to maybe understand a person.
Yeah.
You know?
Or understand that you don't understand.
Yeah.
You know,
totally,
and just
totally.
being like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, I have so many friends that like where I don't agree with like whatever, if it's political views or social things, whatever it is, I don't agree with
Taste in
it.
music.
Yeah, but like I'm not going to be like, oh, that's what you think. Okay, like whatever. You're so weird.
Right.
Like no, you're my friend for a reason. Like we get along in all of these other aspects. Like maybe we don't agree here, but you're a good person at your core. So there's a reason why you feel a certain way and I feel a different way. And like, who the fuck cares?
If everybody thought the exact same way and like you were just in a group of people that you all thought the exact same, can you imagine what that would look like? Can you imagine a group of people who all just agreed and everyone was afraid to say something different for fear of being exiled from the tribe? Can you imagine what that would do to a human? Or
Well, have you heard about God, I couldn't sleep last night, right? So I was going down a rabbit hole.
Okay, well, rabbit hole. I know, by the way, I know because in the middle of the night, I rolled over and did the like half awake, like, throw the arm over thing, and was like, dude, and if you don't think my abandonment issues kicked in full tilt, I was like,
no, I
oh no,
know.
it happened. She finally left.
You came and got me immediately. Why are you on the couch? No, I couldn't sleep. You were exhausted. You were so tired, and you had fallen asleep on the couch. And well, because I was still working, and like I couldn't shut my brain off. So like we went to bed, and I kept trying to like fall asleep, but I was having earbuds in, and I just couldn't. Like I couldn't. And then I was like, all right, I don't want to wake him up by like scrolling through TikTok or give him nightmares because I do that with like the kind of content that I like to watch that puts me to sleep nice and soundly. And apparently that's not everybody's choice, right?
Bro. You make it seem like I'm the irrational one. All right? I woke up more than once in the middle of the night. Like, you know when you're like half awake but still kind of dreaming? It's like that almost lucid dreaming thing. Where like if there's sounds around you, they're like teetering into your dream, right?
Yeah.
I remember one instance, like in particular, I was laying there and I was having this horrific dream about like someone in the shadows in the corner of the bedroom, and then like they were like slowly inching closer, and all I could see was their silhouette. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get up. I was like strapped to the bed, and then as she got closer, it was like this disfigured, decaying old woman.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know. I bet you do.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I woke up so scary, and I knew I was awake, but I was still hearing talk of this old woman, and I'm like, oh, fuck, what's going on? And then I realized that you had fallen asleep with, I think it was Y-Files.
Yep.
It was a Y-Files episode about like sleep paralysis demons and shit
Oh my
like
God,
that.
yeah. I
And
love that episode.
Oh, dude, you're sitting there just,
Oh, yeah.
I'm having a fucking panic attack. And I had to like get up and like sprint over to your side of the bed to turn it off.
No, that puts me to sleep. I don't know what it is. It's the tone of the voice.
Yeah.
I like the tone of his voice and like the musical score to that type of thing is really nice.
Terrifying horror music.
I guess so. But he doesn't do horror music. It's just like a little bit like it's just, it's just creepy enough, but it's like nice. It's a solid tone that's not changing. So I'm not like
Your brain's not going up and down.
Yeah. So I like it. But yeah, I don't know. I go through like the creepy TikTok thing. So anyways, I was going through one last night. I don't know what it was or who it was, but basically there was this, I don't know, back in the day, there was this CIA, like operation, like this, PSYOP or whatever. Right. No, I don't know if that's what it's considered. They did an experiment where they had 17 people go into a room. Right.
Okay.
And like these people signed up, they knew that they were going to be part of an experiment, but they thought that they were all just regular people off of the street. Right. So it turns out it was only one person off of the street and everybody else was a CIA agent. Right.
Okay.
So they're in this room and this guy or, the person doing the experiment is like, okay, shows them a picture of a triangle and goes down the line of people. What do you see? And every single all the CIA operatives said square. Everyone said square, right? Just to see like what would happen if like we all
like the power of like influence or something.
The power of influence,
Okay.
right? So then by the time they got to the one person who was regular, and you can tell, like I'm sure in their mind they're thinking like, I see a fucking triangle. Like, what? But I must be crazy. Like, everybody else sees something else. Now, mind you, I would know that they're fucking with me.
Because you grew up around secret agents.
I did, yeah. And I would be like, well, this is an experiment. I'm obviously the experiment here because this doesn't make sense. Either that or is there something like in the air? Did they poison? Am I hallucinating?
Yeah.
But I would have...
Who's poisoned, them or me?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's where my brain would have went. But he got down to him, and obviously he said square because he didn't want to be the freaking odd man out.
Sure.
But yeah, that goes to the everybody wants to be part of this tribe.
This is the rabbit hole you went down last night.
That was part of it. Yeah, that was one of the weird TikToks. I mean, there was other things about like aliens and
Sure.
like the fact like that whistleblower guy had said in what was it, December or January or something of this year. Okay, so then it would be January. Had said, like he was a whistleblower, and he's like the big thing that they're gonna do is they're gonna try and tell you that we're being invaded by aliens.
Oh, Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, and he was like, but this has been in the works for a very, very long time. It's gonna happen at some point this year. I think he said it was.
It's always this year, man. Last year it was this year,
right? But he was saying like, that's how to get everybody like fearful and stuff. So they're releasing these like, look, UFOs have been a thing. They've been around forever. They've always freaking been here. What they're going to try and do now is now they're allowing you to see that they're here. So now that now they're going to say that there's a ship coming towards Earth that is extraterrestrial. And there's that Atlas thing, that asteroid that they're saying is a spaceship because it moves weird. But how do we know? And the pictures of it are a little too clear for my liking. All right. Also, there's just like an alien on top of it now. They're like, oh, look, there's an alien.
Like
standing.
surfing?
Yeah, like surfing the
Holy
ship.
shit, is it Silver Surfer?
I think he's more like brownish. Looks more like rock kind of tones. But I'm like, okay, he's hurtling through space, just standing on his rock spaceship. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Why now? All of a sudden. Just now? We decided now? Okay.
Honestly, at this point, I would be more surprised if there weren't aliens.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's like they've been doing like a slow drip, for years, like introducing people to aliens. You know what we need?
What?
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
I was just going to say that.
Will Smith has fought aliens on multiple occasions.
He has.
Independence Day.
Truthfully, though,
3 Men in Blacks.
I'm sorry, but I don't really trust Will Smith's judgment at this point. Whoever wrote for him, maybe we can have that guy. Yeah.
Listen, all we have to do is using AI or some other form of editing software, something. We just manufacture a video of one of these fucking aliens saying some shit about his wife.
Right. Oh, that's a good idea. We could say, she looks like an alien because she doesn't have hair.
We're coming back to get her. She belongs with us.
Now he's coming to get him. Oh, my gosh. That's what we'll do. That's the move.
Dude, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is going to bitch slap an alien.
Let's go.
And then we will make him king of the world.
Oh, man. Independence Day. God, how good was that?
The first one? Yeah.
Isn't there only one?
No, there's 2. They did 2.
Really?
Actually, my boy Kenny was in the second one. I think they cut down his part a little bit, but he had a good little part in the second one.
Oh, when did that come out?
I couldn't tell you. I'd say probably 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. I loved the first one. I
Oh,
can't
first
believe
one's a
I
classic.
didn't see the
First one's a classic.
God, I'm so sad. I loved Will Smith so much. I really did. You just can't go around slapping people at award shows and thinking that you're justified for it and then not apologize and be like, well, I'm just going to be a rapper again now because everybody loves me.
Bro, I don't know what it is. He's going through something because...
It's the people they keep around him, dude.
Yeah,
You
just so
see
detached from reality.
You're so detached. And once you're around people like that, I've been around a couple, one in particular who you would know who I'm talking about. Just the things that not a bad person, but the things that they would say and laugh at or just be the things were so off base. And it was you really think that was such a weird, and it wasn't one occasion. It was just constant through the entire. Katy Perry.
Who?
Can you-
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very weird. But all of the people around are like the second's oh, it's disgusting. And you're looking at them what is wrong with you guys? Are you so afraid that they're going to be and what kind of how the anxiety that would give me to have a friend? Well, actually I have had friends like this, but we're not friends anymore. The anxiety of feeling if you say something or you don't agree with something that they say or don't think or kind of call them out or you're being a little bit of a dick right there.
Right.
Or the anxiety I would feel that somebody would be well, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. Okay, cool. But I don't understand. It doesn't, I guess because they're famous or because of the perks or whatever it is. I just can't imagine living like that and being I have to, I just, nope. No, thank you.
You need people around you that'll call you out on your bullshit. And you need to be the kind of person who is okay with being called out on your bullshit.
Dude, every time I get drunk, which is not infrequently, I'm mortified that I did something stupid all the time. And I'm at the same time, I don't really care if I did something. So I don't care if I look stupid. That doesn't really bother me. But I'm did I do anything fucked up to anybody?
Right.
And I would rather just know. I would rather know because I want to be able to send that hey, sorry, I want to. My bad. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was fucked.
I don't see you doing that. I feel I'm sure there's cases where people's personalities completely shift when they get to a certain level.
Yeah.
It unlocks
it's
a door.
happened. It's 100% happened. Most of the time I do feel most of the time I feel justified in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there have been a couple of people who got in the crosshairs where I'm fuck.
Ooh.
My bad.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Sorry.
Wait, did we ever say what Tommy taught you?
Oh, Tommy toughness.
Tommy taught
me a lot of toughness. Tommy was bigger than me from the second he was born.
Yeah.
He was a big baby.
Yeah.
And he was a brawler, dude. Like, which is funny to think about because he's such a sweetheart.
He is, yeah,
but
he's a sweet boy.
I was very I don't know, I was very like shy and kind of introverted and weird and like very dainty. And he was just not that. He was the complete opposite, man. And I don't know, he liked to fight. Like he was aggressive. Like he liked to wrestle and like do all this and stuff. And he was like big. He would like beat the crap out of me. I'm 5 years older than him. But he would like beat me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy for me to imagine. It's so funny because like we'll be hanging out, the three of us, and I'll forget you guys are brother and sister, and then every now and then one of you will do something like,
oh, I have to pay him. Fuck.
What?
We did that. Like we did flex.
Oh, the
and
rent
it hit,
thing.
and I need to pay him the other half. I forgot.
Womp womp. I'll tell you what. Go do that right now.
No. As soon as we finish, I'll.
No. We got to cut anyway.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's not television.
Technically, they're movies broken up into 3-minute episodes.
Seems like an odd choice.
Viewers pay via token.
Token? J.R.R. Token? He's in on this? Oh, that sick son of a bitch.
No, it's how you pay for each episode. You gotta buy tokens to put in the slot machine for the next episode to play.
I see. It's like gambling. Is it addicting? Because that could be good for us.
Yeah. That's their business model. First, you gotta download the app.
There's an app?
There are so many apps.
How do they fit so many people in such a small space?
I think they just smush them all together and tell them not to move.
That must be a nightmare for the actors.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. They're being paid well for it.
No, they're not.
I love it.
Play by man, for what you say about man. You know I'm big stepping walking through the door. When I'm getting money.
He has been paid.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think the flex thing is kind of cool. I wish that it worked for more, like, because when you don't want like the whole thing coming out at like one. I mean,
You know about the rent thing?
yeah, but like,
Yeah, it's
isn't it
pretty cool.
kind of nice to be able to just like split it up?
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard of Flex, it's this thing you can. I think most apartment complexes nowadays use it, or renters use it nowadays. But it allows you to like split your rent, so you don't have to pay all.
Ours just like 3 months ago started allowing us to use
Maybe
it.
a newer thing. But
So-
if you're like us and money can be kind of tight sometimes, Flex will save your ass. So check that out. I wish they would give us some money for saying that, but this is a completely free ad.
No.
Can you believe that? They just got a $30,000 ad for free.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah. Lucky them.
Lucky
Anyway.
them. Chickity check what? Anyways,
Are you able to check your mic while the stuff's over there?
I mean, I'm checking it.
whether or not it's working.
I mean, I can
anybody's
see.
guess.
I can, because of the way that it's turned, like the audio box is turned. I
Yeah.
can see that your mic is working because it lights up every
Got
time you
you.
talk. Mine is being a little funky today, so I'm gonna have to be doing a little bit of work.
Fix it in post.
I'm gonna have to fix it in post.
Famous last words, man.
Yeah,
Famous last words.
I know it's gonna be rough. Truthfully, if all else fails, no, this is gonna be fine. This is gonna be totally fine. But that mic is so good it can hear everything I'm saying, which is not ideal for a podcast situation.
You guys are getting some real inside baseball stuff right now. Getting a real look at how the cookie's made. Is that the saying? How the
juice is
brisket is how the juice is squeezed.
I don't know if that's correct.
How the cookie crumbles. Walter Cronkite. And that's the way it was.
Oh.
That's the way I like it.
I saw your fucking toes move. They do that.
They are. You know what it is? It's the equivalent of a dog wagging his tail.
No, 100%. That's why I think it's so cute. I'm like, oh, it's his happy meter.
Tyler Tutzer's Tackett. That's where that name came from.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Your feet look like extra white because of your sunburn.
Okay. It's not that. Yeah. They're cooked, man. They're cooked. Go ahead and ask me why.
Why, babe? What
Well,
happened?
I will tell you. Mair Mulroney, love of my life, apple of my eye. I was last minute pulled in to coordinate a film. Don't ask which one, because in true
can't
Ever
tell
Forward
you.
podcast fashion, ain't gonna tell you.
Well, that's only because it hasn't come out yet. It's still filming.
Yeah,
But it was a big film.
it was a big film.
Yeah.
Should I?
Well, for
You want to hear how it went?
our viewers, can you just let them know what a stunt coordinator does really quickly? Because you just said coordinate.
Yeah. So check it. Stunt coordinator's job is to do just that, coordinate the stunts. They typically are in charge of, hiring all the performers, the riggers, basically coordinating how all of the safety-related, action-related sort of sequences are handled in any sort of film, television, anything like that, right? They coordinate everything.
So you're the head of the department.
Head of the department for stunts is what a stunt coordinator is, right? And I started coordinating over the last couple years, little things here and there.
You coordinated. I can't say it. God damn it.
What an annoying show this must be to watch.
Came out. It almost came out. I was like,
I believe you.
actually, by the time this episode comes out, maybe.
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
God damn it.
all of our secrets will be revealed. You know what it feels like? It feels like that Frodo meme from Lord of the Rings, where he's like, "Fine then, keep your secrets." You know what I'm talking about? That's what it feels like. No, so I got called in last minute to coordinate this flick, and there's a thing that happens sometimes on films where, because for a variety of reasons, be it financial, budgetary reasons, or just too much information, sometimes you get pitched a job and some of the details of said job are left out. So anyway, I get pulled in like the day before the shoot to coordinate this thing. Just a one-day thing, kind of more of a fill-in position than anything. And the way it's pitched to me is that it's going to be this very simple sequence. They're just going to have somebody fall off their surfboard. It's a surfing movie, right? And
Question. So, just quick question. Were there? So they hired real surfers for this movie, correct?
At the time of accepting the job, I was not sure. Oh, actually, that's not true, because I had a powwow with the director and we had discussed all the details. I knew that the guys weren't surfers, but I was under the impression that they
Had surf experience.
and also too, this is more or less my bad, because if you're a coordinator, you shouldn't assume anything. You should have all the details like written out in front of you. But
it was
anyway,
very last minute.
it was very last minute. It's not an excuse when it comes to safety, but anyway. So we go over all the details. I'm told that there's a safety team in place. They're near the end of production, so I assume
Like a
they've
water safety team.
correct. Yeah, water safety team is going to be there. And
Because
then
you're filming in the ocean.
correct. Yeah, we're filming in the ocean.
That's always good.
But the way I was pitched was that it was going to be like someone in pretty much shallow water just falling off their board. And for even the simple stuff, if anyone's doing anything even remotely, literally like falling down, like where they're standing or something, you need a stunt coordinator, just because the director and the first AD and the producers, they're thinking about 100 things. They can't also.
You do need. You can. It's so funny because you get hurt doing this dumbest thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Like, we always have stunt coordinators, and it's always something silly.
Right.
And you're like, is it necessary? But yeah, like if you don't know how to fall properly, you'll get hurt.
I've gotten banged up. I think my body's gotten banged up more often on like little things.
Yeah.
That you're like, this will be fine, than some of the bigger stuff. I don't know if it's a focus thing. I don't know if it's like when it's a little bit more dangerous, you tend to be like zoned in, and sometimes maybe you're like a little lazier with your focus when it's something that you think is going to be just small or whatever. Anyway, neither here nor there. So
choreography does help too.
Choreography helps. Rehearsals help. Giving time to the stunt performers and the coordinators and all the people in charge of that, giving them the time to do their job and not rushing them or saving the stunt till the last minute, which I've seen more often. Not all the time, but sometimes you run into that. Anyway, so I get pulled into this thing. There's a whole myriad of things, changes and stuff that go on last minute. It's like 3 hours away. I get there and
So crazy.
I roll onto set. And I'm looking at kind of their setup, and everybody's pros, pro thing, smaller day, so not a full, like they didn't have like the Coyote trucks and like the full thing. It was kind of like it was more of like a pickup day.
Yeah.
So smaller team, but everybody looked like they knew what they're doing. Everybody's very, very nice and very excited. We get out there, and I find out that this is the first day that they're going to be like in the ocean on the boards. And so we've got all these actors. I look around for this water safety team.
Which is really crazy. Sorry to interrupt you, but like just from a production or directorial standpoint, you're going to hire your stunt coordinator literally the night before filming.
Yeah.
On a surfing film in the ocean.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Desperate times, I suppose. But I roll in there and I get all this information, and then I look around for the water safety team. Water safety team is a single lifeguard. And I'm like, okay, so what's our life preserver situation? What's our, that sort of thing? Because again, I'm getting brought into a production.
Yeah, it's not
and told
like you
that
were.
They've been doing this.
You
they
didn't
have
get to talk about like pre-pro and stuff. They're saying like, we've been filming.
Yeah.
We're just having you for this pickup day
Correct.
because maybe like schedules or something, whatever.
And again, lesson learned. Like, no matter if it is something as simple as that, you get every fucking detail. So I'll eat that one. Anyway, we get there. It is far more than I bargained for. Also, there was this whole like rate thing that was going on, and you're kind of battling for your money a little bit. But dude, when I tell you we're in the ocean, these waves are hitting pretty damn hard, and they're tall, man. Like they're capping at like they're breaking at like, I don't know, quite a bit above my head, and they're coming in hard and heavy. I had no intention of getting in the water, but because we were short-staffed on the water safety team, thankfully I had the foresight to bring my bathing suit and stuff. So I ended up jumping in there with them, and just because I wanted bodies out there spotting everybody, because they were taking, talent was going out deep. And
question.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So I'm like assuming that they had like a dinghy boat out there in case something happened.
So they could get to him quick?
Yeah.
No, nothing like that.
Oh, no?
No, it was one of these situations where it's like, all right, paddle out into the middle of the ocean, not in the middle of the ocean, but like 20, 30 yards out, pretty far out.
This would be, now mind you, like, so I'm assuming that if that's the case and they didn't have these things in order. So I'm assuming there couldn't be anybody like super important on this, like they couldn't have like an Academy Award winning actor on this type of film if they're going to.
You're not going to believe this. They did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No way.
Unfortunately, that person wasn't there that day because that would have been cool. But
you don't say. Wow. I'm glad that they're professional. That's good. So.
I don't want to knock anybody. Everybody was great, but it was a situation where you realize how even on the bigger stuff, some things, whether it's for budgetary reason or whatever, either slip through the cracks. They're not taken as seriously, and that's where bad things happen. So it was a day full of, it was not a half day like I was hired for. It was a full day, which that's how most productions go. Let's be honest.
Like, I get so tired of that too. I fight with production when they're like, oh, we're going to need you that half day. I'm like, no, you're hiring me for that full day. And they're like, oh yeah, but we'll only need you for this many hours. Okay, I still have to drive there. I can't do anything else that day because I don't know what time I'm wrapping. Yeah. And also, like, I'm going to get my call sheet the morning before. So I don't know if you're calling me in at 6 and then I'll be wrapped by noon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's the half day rate thing can be a little squirrely. I mean, done right, it's totally fine, but productions more often than not do run over. And as long as you negotiate your overtime and stuff like that, and it is what it is. So I get out in that water, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm a good swimmer. I don't swim in the ocean all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I certainly don't I don't surf, but I wanted to be out there and just as a body with an extra focus. It was just me and this other safety guy, and no dinghy, no boat. And if anything were to go sideways, thank God it didn't. But if anything were to go sideways, it would have taken so long for somebody to get out to them. And then you got to think, it's 2, sometimes 3 different talent who, athletic as they may be, panic kicks in, especially in the water. You start kicking, you start flailing. Those boards, you turn, that board can swing sideways, crack somebody's head,
absolutely.
knock them out. And then if you've only got 1 or 2 people with eyes, but you've got 3 people out there, you know, and you need to pull them in, and people are
and people get lost.
and
in,
then the
like,
waves are coming in. You get caught in
yeah,
this
it's
washing
so-
machine
yeah.
of a wave. You know, you get wrapped up. I even, and it's almost embarrassing to say, but we were getting out there, you know, just kind of getting past the break to get out there, and those waves at a certain point hit me so hard I got caught. And there was also this thing where
You
it was
get
like,
in the cycle of it where it's like
Yeah.
the second you pop your head up, the next one's hitting you.
I couldn't even get up. You know what happened to me is it was one of those lifeguard noodles things with like the rope around it so you can wrap it around your chest or wherever, you kind of throw it behind you while you swim sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to me is we got out there and then this big cycle of waves came in and there was a drop off. You know, the water was waist high. And then it got to the certain point and then it would just drop off and go over your head. And when you're getting pushed and pulled, it's hard to know where you are. So there was this one moment, we're getting ready for a take and I'm swimming out and I'm staying on this one spot and I'm getting ready. I see a wave coming. So I'm kind of like getting ready to dive into the wave or whatever, but it pulled me and it pulled my foot out from underneath me. I went under, it got sucked into the wave, and got a mouthful just by happenstance, like sucked in a bunch of water too. And then I tried to get up, but because it pulled me, I got pulled into where it dropped off. So what happened is I braced to like, you know, like you're prepping to like push off the ground that was just under your feet, except now there's no ground under your feet. So you're all doing it and then you go to push and there's nothing there. You're just floating and then you get thrown out. And then what happened is that cord from the lifeguard noodle wrapped around me and it wrapped around like this leg, like this in my arm.
Oh no.
So I couldn't get it free and I'm tumbling in this wave and I'm running out of air because I didn't take a breath. I inhaled water and I'm getting thrown around like this. And thankfully my left foot caught some sand and I was able to like brace and like stand up at the right time when it was like the tide was pulling back, getting ready for another wave. And I pulled my leg free and I was able to scoot up, but it kicked my ass all the way back to, cause I'm like hacking up water and stuff, trying to, you know, get my footing and everything.
Babe.
I mean, it was me like, you know, it was just a random kind of misstep sort of thing,
No,
but that's how that happens.
yeah.
Right. It was scary. Scary for a second. You get reminded like, oh, the ocean don't play.
The ocean do not play, man. We've
yeah.
learned that being with the boat. You realize like, oh, this is a different monster. Like
Yeah. Well, when it starts moving, right? When it's still and
when things are still
that's fine. Go for a swim, but ocean start moving. Poseidon's like, yo, did you forget about me?
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
But all that to say, the footage looked pretty cool. I think the director and the producers were all super happy. Everybody went home that night. Nobody got hurt. You know, and you know, we were able to work everything out contract wise and stuff like that. And honest to God, I hope the movie turns out great and I wish them all the best. But it was a situation where just for me, I realized I was underprepared, which is no excuse for a stunt coordinator. Like you don't get the luxury of being unprepared when your job is not your safety, but it's everyone's safety. I could have done a better job getting the information I needed. Granted, even then it changed a bunch. Yeah,
so,
well,
like,
it changed a bunch
I know that they
too.
were telling you things, and then it was changing, and like they were saying that they had things in place when you asked for it, and then you got there and they didn't have them in place.
Yeah, I had to.
That's really frustrating, and it's rough because you're like, okay, it's last minute. I mean, but you're also thinking, and I get it, it's not an excuse, but I know I would be thinking like, I mean, you guys wouldn't be stupid enough to hire somebody and not be prepared for these things, especially with that type of film, with that type of cast.
Yeah.
And you've been filming. Like,
I think
it's
what
not the
happens,
first day.
I think what happens is, more often than not in those kind of situations, especially towards the end of production, when you start running out of budget and things are taking longer, you're having to add on days, or, you know, with film sets, you know, we all know like things change on a dime.
Yeah.
Locations and permits and people get sick or, you know, something expensive breaks or this, that, or the other, right? They're always kind of in motion and you're doing, you know, kudos to like, you know, your teams that are in charge of scheduling and producing and you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, I know they pull their hair out. I've done it, you know, and I know how those things can just start compiling. By the end of it, you're like, especially if you're, you know, you're someone in an early part of your career just trying to make a movie, and you've got this great opportunity and things combine. Then you've got these people like producers and stuff who have been doing it for a while, who trusted you. Now they're breathing down your neck, and you don't want to look like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. So you want to turn in a good product, and you're just trying to balance all the chaos and be like, okay, what,
So you cut certain corners.
what corners can I cut? What can I not? And then you start to panic, and then we're all human, you know, and that's how it happens.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time faulting anybody for that, especially if there's someone that's like, or a team or anybody that's like, if I can tell you're trying, you know, it's not an excuse when it comes to safety. Like, we have to do certain things. Like we had to delay production a little bit, the day we were shooting, because I was like, yo, at bare minimum, before I can give my thumbs up to let talent in the water, really anybody in water, not just talent, because we had a cam op that had to swim out. He was going to swim out with an oxygen tank, but the waves were so crazy. And like, because he was like just with his flippers on and an oxygen tank and a camera, like flip flopping, just walking into the water with those waves, that's not how you would do that. You'd be on a boat and you'd drop in past the break. He was in a situation where, so he couldn't bring his oxygen tank with him, you know, and thankfully he's a fucking gangster of a dude who used to like shoot sharks for, I think, like National Geographic and stuff like
really
that.
Cool.
He's a gangster, so he was fine. But that means because he didn't have his oxygen tank, he also had the spare, like the octopus thing that's like multiple oxygen lines. So in case shit goes crazy, he has oxygen and he can give one to someone else.
Yeah.
So we had no oxygen out there because he had to take it off.
Okay.
Right, and also the talent are like they're playing teenagers. They're probably in their early 20s. Very athletic. They all did a great job. Like, I went out and swam on the first couple takes. I was out in the water, and even after I got wrecked, I went back out, and I was in the water simply because I needed to know at least that these people were comfortable enough to, because you're sitting on a board, then you have to get off the board, and you got to paddle, and things, and just have body awareness and be able to control the thing. And once I knew that they at least had that in control, then I could go back to shore and I could be kind of playing middleman between everybody, you know, from camera crew, and then going out, running out into the water, let them know, because they can't hear like, directions. You know, they're going off hand signals and shit.
It's also another reason why you're supposed to have a boat in the water. A dinghy's not expensive to rent. That drives
you nuts.
That drives me. That makes me really upset.
Yeah.
I don't understand the thought process of like I'm not a seasoned filmmaker, you know, like we make, like we're pretty seasoned all the time. Well, no, okay, filmmaker, but like director,
right,
type of thing,
yeah.
Right. Do I direct things? Yeah, but like as a feature film, no,
right.
I haven't directed a feature film,
yet.
But that's something like that I would think of. Like, I just can't imagine that not happening. It's just.
I feel like it would have.
It's so dangerous not to do that. It's so dangerous.
Would they have been able, with a dinghy like that, would they be able to bring that back to shore, just like up onto the beach, or would that need to go to a dock?
You have to usually have a dock. I mean,
that was the thing. We were in a place that didn't have a dock. We were just in beach. There was like the closest dock was like a mile away.
You could run it to shore. You absolutely.
What about like a fucking canoe type situation, or like
even that would have been better.
Kind of
something
thing. Yeah.
Like the dinghies, they're small. You know, the one little like thing.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But just to have that, I mean, you would
have made life a lot easier.
Would have a dock, but like if it's you know worst case scenario, you would just run that thing ashore. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure these are all things that were discussed. It probably, more than anything, it probably just came down to money, you know, because, you know, smaller films, you know, if they're lucky enough to grab a couple like name actors, because they had, even the guys I was working with, it wasn't the head honcho guy. He wasn't there that day, but the other guys, they were all like, you know, very much working actors.
Yeah.
You know, but all that to say, it was a wild experience, man. I was not having fun. Everybody was great. Don't get me wrong. Like, everybody was great. I didn't meet a single person on that set that I didn't enjoy thoroughly, and I could see the passion, and I get doing the indie film thing. But it was definitely, just from my own personal experience, my anxiety was so high. I came home and like,
you were so tired.
I just laid on the floor.
Yeah.
You were so sweet. You knew I was like all like worn out from. You knew the day I had been texting you and calling you throughout the day, and like I got home, you had cleaned the apartment, you had dinner cooking. It smelled so good in here, and like I like just laid on the floor in front of the front door, and you like just brought me a whiskey. You just like pet my head and made like go take a shower and making dinner. It was you know. So it's hard for me to be too bummed out when the day ended like that, but it was a wild one. And I do my little footsers are a little bit sunburned.
Yeah, they're a little. You got sunburned. Your cheeks, all of it. Yeah,
a little pink.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But all things considered, that's not bad.
I mean, I spent all day on the beach making a movie.
That's pretty cool. Very cool.
What am I going to complain about? Everybody was fine.
Good.
You know, but it was stressful. And lessons learned on my end, on everybody's end.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was what I did this week. Yeah. What'd you get into? Not like I don't know why I'm asking you that. I've been with you
I'm trying
every
to think,
day.
like,
You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. I'm going to answer that for you. We dropped our first like kind of long form sketch.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, check out. We dropped a new sketch on the channel. We'll start dropping more, but we got a fun one that just came out.
Yeah, it's part of a series.
Yeah.
So it's episode 1 in a series of these sketches, and I think it's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. I think like it's silly and like it's on green screen and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, go check it out. We're going to start doing more and more of those sketches. We've got the time now to actually start pumping out some of the stuff we've been writing and working on.
Yeah.
We did that this week. That was a big step.
That was
We got
good.
microphones. That was a big step.
We did. Yeah, no, I didn't really do. I mean, I've been like editing and stuff. Like I've been behind the computer.
You've been learning Premiere.
Yes.
You're getting pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
You're good. You have truthfully, I think you might have a better eye, like instinct for editing than I do. You have a sense for.
I've always been good at editing.
You know, I think it's your music background.
Yeah.
There's like a rhythm to storytelling, whether it's in music or film or whatever. And sometimes I get frustrated because I struggle finding. I like the visuals of it. I like doing like all the color grading, and I like writing, I like drawing, I like all that part of it. But you have a good sense for the musicality of the moment, whether it's music or film or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to watch you work. I can see your little wheels turn, and it's cute.
Yeah.
You're good. You're doing really good.
Yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. I think because it's just I don't know, things get ruined in the edit so quickly. Like it's really easy to ruin something good because you don't understand the beats.
Star Wars, A New Hope. Legend has it that the first cut of Star Wars that Lucas turned in wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was his wife at the time. I'm 99% sure it's his wife.
Her.
She was an editor.
Yeah.
And she was like, let me help you out here. She came in and she kind of famously saved Star Wars and sci-fi as we know it in the edit. They always say there's multiple versions of a movie, right? Movie, whatever project is. There's what you conceptualize, what you write, what you shoot, what you edit. And often all very, very different.
Yeah, very different versions. The edit is crazy because you can save stuff. Like, it's like, okay, so that didn't work, blah, 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 blah. But like there's certain beats that you can hit. It drives me nuts when people like call themselves, I mean, I'm not good with coloring or like special effects or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But I can line up the story for you really nicely, like from start to finish. And
you're good at sucking the air out of like places that like drag too long.
Well, because that'll kill it.
The dead space.
That'll that'll kill the momentum of whatever the joke is or whatever the moment is. Like that stuff is so important. And there's so many editors who it's like they're really good at like special effects and stuff like that. But I'm like, what are you doing to the story? Like it drives me nuts.
I guess it depends on what your like focus is. People get excited about certain things. There are people that are really passionate about editing. I mean, those people are like magicians.
Yeah.
You get someone that really understands like the art of editing and like crafting that. Because honestly, a lot of music, film, television, a lot of times it's found in the edit. You find your story. It's when you take all that stuff that you shot and you envisioned and you finally get to put it all together. I like editing and I like it a lot more now, the more and more I'm learning. I still have a long way to go, but I am learning that is the that is the place where you find the story. You know,
Yeah.
you gathered all your toys, and now you get to like actually play with them and
Yeah.
see what you're gonna find.
I think we mentioned a little bit last episode, but it's important to be open-minded in the edit,
Hard to do.
which is really hard to do, especially if you're the writer and directing as well.
Well,
And
because you've been so close to it, right?
yeah.
It's hard to see outside of that. And the famous saying, you know, you have to sometimes kill your darlings.
Yeah,
you know?
certain things that you thought were gonna work,
You could have
don't
been.
work.
It could have been like the whole reason you shot the movie was this one
like
scene,
this one thing,
and then you have to cut it.
which Danny said something about the project that's coming up, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
He said, and we don't know what it is. but
Danny
he-
Shepard, ISMAHAWK, shout out.
He's like, we had to get rid of this one thing, but because it just didn't fit. And I'm like thinking, because we were there, we were in.
You
the
start
whole
going through
thing,
your head
and
like,
I'm
what was it? What was it?
What was it? Because I was like, but I can't imagine anything not fitting, because we've seen how it all, like, we know how everything transitions and what the lineup is supposed to be. So, and you know, he's so passionate about like literally every single thing had a reason.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's why he's good at what he does.
very curious to see what it is.
Honestly, it probably, if I were a betting man, it was probably not a situation of it not flowing. I guarantee you it was a time constraint thing, because that's what happens too, right? Like, you know, you can write a film and, you know, it's very often disproven, but what people say is when you're looking at a script, it should come out to about a minute a page. So you have a 90-page script, 90-minute movie, except, you know, 200-page script, et cetera, et cetera. That's not always the case, though.
Yeah.
It's actually usually not the case, because those pages could be made up of a variety of different things. It's not if it's pages of just dialogue, someone going back and forth, maybe. But here's the thing:
There's moments, there's flashbacks.
you
there's
haven't.
this, yeah.
You got to cast your actors, and then your actors bring something to it. And then what if, you know, they find a moment in that to take a breath, you know, a long moment, and then there's a couple of those things. So now your scene's a little bit longer. So what ends up happening is you're like, oh fuck, this is a little bit longer. Or maybe you had a great idea on the day and you're like, yo, add this to the end of that scene, or add this moment, or let's add this, or whatever. And so you get in there, oh fuck, I've got, you know, I have to turn in a 5-minute project, or I have to turn in like a 2-hour movie, but I've got 8 hours of footage all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, you know?
and all of it works.
It all
know?
works, but then you have to start looking at, as you trim and trim and trim and trim, you start looking at like, okay, you have to have, and I'm not good at this yet. I'm trying to get better, but you have to be able to zoom out.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like people that are so close. So you have to be able to zoom out and be like, what serves the story as a whole?
Well, it's serving the story as a whole, but you have to be cognizant of your viewers. You have
Right.
to think about your audience, and you really, you know, it's an art form and stuff, but you're making it for someone. Otherwise you get, what was the movie with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt from the guy from La La Land?
Babylon?
Babylon. I loved that movie. The general population did not love that movie because they thought it was too long, because it was a love story to Hollywood. So like a very few amount of people really understand all of the key intricate moments and why it's so long. But you could have died it down, because what you have to think about is like, okay, I know why I love this part and I know why I want to keep it in. But is anyone else going to get that?
Right.
You know?
Right. Is this for me? And it is that balancing act, because like as an artist, you're like, I am doing this at least partially for me.
Right.
But with what we do, it is an audience, you know, it's for an audience.
Yeah.
You know, and truthfully, sometimes what you think is conveying what you mean may be getting kind of muddy in its delivery.
Yeah.
You know, because you have all this backstory and shit you've created in your head that you know going into it. And then you bring someone fresh who is just looking at what's in front of them. They don't know what's in your head. And it can get a little lost in translation there. I think that happens a lot. So it is that balancing act of being like, you know, how do I convey my vision and tell the story that I had in my head while still making sure that people are able to follow it, that they are intrigued by it, excited by it, and all that. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
Like being a director is no joke. Being a filmmaker and being able to serve your ego, but also remove your ego. You know, that's no small task.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a mistake people make sometimes that I've seen is like they'll be so excited to be able to call themselves a director,
Mhm.
right? That and they'll have a passion for it and their heart's in the right place, but there's a lot of that's one of the things to bring up Danny again. One of the things that I've always loved about working with Danny
Such
is
a team player.
well, a multitude of reasons. But what I was going to say is, Danny and I are very similar in the fact that we're very passionate, we're very excitable. You know, our brains go 90 miles an hour at all times, and Danny has always been able to. He's very creative. He's always been able to balance that creativity while serving the story and doing basically exactly
He's
what
really good at that.
he is a gangster.
He's
so
genius.
He
'Cause
really is. He really is.
He's got his creative brain, but he also has his he's got a business brain.
Yeah, and a
he-
technical brain too,
and very
because
yeah.
he knows his cameras as much as
But he also
he knows his effects, he knows his editing, he
also leaves it because when we filmed Placid Park, he was very much like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Right. And not that he wasn't doing that in this last project, but because he
wasn't directing in Placid Park, so it was
True.
was it was a balancing act between him and Roman. Like Roman was staying very much in the creative and working with the actors and trying to tell that story, and Danny was able to be there to help manage everything and be like, okay, I hear your vision. Here's how we get that.
Yeah.
And that, again, go back to what we said about teamwork. Like he's such a team player. He's so good at being like, I know the assignment.
Right.
You hired me for this job. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna go over and beyond, and I'm gonna execute at the highest level. He always does. But it's because he's able to do what we're talking about. Be able to zoom out and have just such a knowledge and the passion and an understanding and a respect for others. It's just he's my boy, but friendship aside, like as a fellow artist and a fellow like filmmaker and as a peer, there are few people I respect as much as Danny Shepard.
He's a real gangster.
Yeah, he's the man. So
he was also very good at like handing it off at times.
Delegating,
delegating where he's like, okay, my brain capacity has to be here right now. Jeremy, who's
Jeremy Lee,
head of camera,
cinematographer of all cinematographers,
and Doc, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
What do you do? And he's like, I can't think about it right now. I trust. Get what you got. Get what we got to get. We got 5 minutes. Get it.
That honestly, another mark of a solid director, because you have to be able to delegate.
Psst. Hey, you guys want to see something cool?
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I want to eat them.
Give me that. Delegation.
Yes.
One of the most important things for a director to be a master of, and I myself am not. I am a little bit of, and forgive me for using an outdated term here, control freak.
Are you?
Oh, I can be.
I don't see that. I mean, you don't like it when I touch the lights, but in your
That's
defense,
not true. That's not true. I just happen to be the one that's been doing it, so
you're much
I know
better
where
at
it is.
and you're better at them. I don't
your words, not
understand.
mine.
I don't really understand lighting as much. I get it to a certain degree, but like it's not my forte.
It's not mine either. Truthfully, I'm getting better, but I feel like in like a year's time, after doing this show
You're
for a
gonna
bit,
look back and be like,
not
what
just
the
us, but like
fuck?
we're all gonna look back and like from episode 1 to how it progresses.
Yeah.
You know, like when we can actually hire a team that specializes in these sort of things. But
Yeah.
for right now, we're in the thick of it.
We're in the thick of it.
We're gonna learn
Listen,
ourselves.
it's lit. We got big boys all over the place. If you
It
walked
is
in
lit.
here, it would look cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
I think we do pretty good.
You'd be like, dang, this is a studio. You guys built this?
We did.
And yeah.
Listen. Not to get too sentimental on you, but my favorite thing about this whole Ever Forward journey is we started it almost immediately after we started dating. We had known each other all this time, and it was a no-brainer that we wanted to make our own films, and we didn't want to just be actors or just be a stunt performer and all this. We were well-rounded artists, and we wanted to be filmmakers, right? And we literally started sleeping with my mattress on the floor in the living room for like 6 months while we painted all this and built it, and like we're figuring out how we were going to shoot it and learning and all that. We literally started on a mattress on the floor in my living room. And, we're still in my bedroom, our studio.
Yeah.
It's just the two of us doing it, and we're a newer show, so our views aren't skyrocketing yet, and that can be a little discouraging, when it comes all the work that goes into putting it out.
Well, the long form views are not, but short form views are there.
We're getting there. But I guess I'm just saying, like, it would be easy to get frustrated and discouraged with those sort of things and all the work and all that kind of stuff, while still doing everything else we do, And I think I try to remind myself, even when it's like this and it's a struggle and money's tight and we're doing this all ourselves, all that kind of stuff. I try to, again, zoom out a little bit and think, like, this is a cool part of the story. What we're doing right now is going to be the part of the story that we tell other people about when they're like, oh man, I wish I could do what you guys do, but I don't know where to start. And we can honestly be like, listen, just start. Just start.
Just
man.
start.
And can I tell you who taught me that? Who kind of inspired you?
Oh,
really? No, seriously. Like, full disclosure, I have been doing this a long time, but what I'm realizing is how difficult it is for me to just sit here and be Tyler. I catch myself when we're doing these, like, wanting to slip into a caricature of myself and be entertaining and stuff like that. And I've always struggled with the social media thing and being as present on social media and wanting to put myself out there, and I gave myself all these excuses as to why I didn't do it. Like, oh, I don't find the artistic or whatever nonsense. But really, if I'm being honest, what it was me being afraid to just sit and be myself in front of people, And one of the things about you that I've probably gone on and on about is, but it's so true, is you are so unapologetically yourself, and you're so brave to just be yourself that it's inspired me to kind of try to start doing the same, which sounds weird. Like, if you know me, like, you'd think I'm a super extroverted person, and I can be, but it's scary. So all that to say, you were the one that was like, no, we're just going to start. We're just going to start, and we'll learn as we go, and we'll get better, and we're going to be ourselves. And there were times where I was trying to, like, overproduce it and make it all these different things. You're like, no, hey, let's just go and be ourselves. Let's just have fun. Let's do it because it's fun for us. Let's do it because maybe there's people out there just want to hang out with us, just want some friends to just kind of listen to and shoot the shit while they're doing dishes or some other boring task they have to do throughout the day. And I always thought of myself as someone who would say that to someone else. And it's been interesting to see that, as much as I would tell someone that advice, it was hard for me to put it into action. And I give a lot of credit to you for helping me learn that about myself and be brave enough to do it. It doesn't seem like much, but it's daunting.
Yeah,
Sometimes putting yourself out there, and you do it so well, and you do it without compromising either your integrity or who you are. And it's really cool to see.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just start. Start, man. Just start. Everyone deserves a seat at the table. If you got something you want to put out in the world, just do it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, nobody's really expecting that of you. I don't know. There are people in the world who get lucky, right? There are people who, they get into Juilliard, they get into this or some top film school or something, or acting school, and they get picked up by one of the top agents in the world, and they get pushed and they get put in one of their, my first audition, I got this major movie, and they just become super, super uber successful without, it's rude almost to say, to be like, without doing any work, because I'm sure they got very good grades and they tried really hard, and study and spend a lot of time on their craft, but nothing compares to what we do. Nothing compares to people who have to grind for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Like, and I'm talking every single day creating their own stuff. They don't get lucky. They have to put themselves out there. They have to create their own content because they're not getting the roles that they want to get because they don't have the reach to get it. They don't have the agents who are going to pick up a phone and do that because not every agent is on that level. That's the hustle. And you have to learn to edit, and you have to be your own PR, and you have to be everything.
Yeah, especially nowadays, right? Like, you can't just be an actor.
Some people can't, but
Yeah,
it's very few and far in between. And one of the best pieces of advice that my first manager out here, like first Hollywood manager, told me was like when I first signed with them, they were like, "Are you somebody who gets lucky?" And I looked at him and I was like, "No." Like, based on my life,
your track record,
my track record in life, absolutely not. Quite the opposite. I would say I'm rather unlucky, and I thought that was a make or break thing. I was like, well, he's just gonna say the deuces, and he said, okay, that's good to know. I'm glad that you know that. A lot of people don't know that. And he goes, do you know what I mean? And I was like, you just got to work so much harder. He goes, exactly. Doesn't mean it's not possible, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
And as long as you know that, cool. But not everybody knows that. And it's something that, you either are one of those people who ends up in the right place at the right time and things just magically happen for you, and doesn't mean that you're not deserving of what you get. But some people, that's not their journey, and it hasn't been mine. Nobody's ever made anything happen for me. So the only person who's made things happen for me is me, and there's been collaborative efforts along the way. Sure. But I think that's a good lesson to put out there. It seems daunting to have to do all of these things, but you also don't need to be super successful at 22. Like, you don't, you can spend time in the trenches, and that's kind of the cool, fun part. Like, that's so punk rock. And then, you learn and you develop these things, and they just kind of become second nature a little bit. And then it all starts to piece itself together. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. And honestly, would you rather be the person who just got lucky the whole way through, or would you rather be the person that worked and fought and bled and cried and laughed and all of that for what you have? They always say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And God, it's
so
such
true.
a fucking irritating thing when people say it. It is true. It is true. It's cliche for a reason. But I think what that means is, and speaking just for myself, when I moved to LA, and I know I've mentioned this before, but when I moved to LA, I had already been doing the indie film circuit in Texas for a couple years, and I had kind of done pretty cool stuff. Like, I had worked on a bunch of feature films, just kind of out the gate. A lot of it may have been luck. I like to think I actually am a pretty lucky person. But I came out here and I was under the impression that I don't know. I actually don't know what impression I was under. I was probably not under an impression. I was probably just fantasizing and naive. But coming out here and struggling in all the different ways that I had to, and having to hit my version of rock bottom at the time, and decide when you're there, like in that moment, you're there, you're laying on your bed, and you're like, it feels like your insides are trying to crawl out of you, but you also feel so fatigued and so weak, and you start having all these thoughts run through your head that are like, why did I ever start this in the first place? What was I thinking? You start every negative thought about it, you just get flooded with all this, and you feel so heavy. The whole world around you feels so heavy. And then it's in that moment you get to decide who you are. Are you the kind of person that stays there? Are you the kind of person that you take a knee for a minute, catch your breath, let yourself feel those emotions, and then say, all right, motherfucker, don't forget who you are. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and at risk of sounding like a complete asshole,
ever forward.
Son of a bitch. They said the name.
Well, real quick before we wrap up, I do want to answer your thing because for any young people watching, which I think is most people, when I was
My mom and my grandparents watch this.
oh well,
So
you have a young mom.
I do.
When I was 22,
Mhm.
I would have preferred to get lucky because I think at that point in time, you don't have a lot of life experience. You don't have perspective. I thought that meant that I was really talented.
Being lucky.
Because I wouldn't have seen it as luck. I would have seen it as somebody. That person believes in me. That person is going to make things happen for me because like they saw something in me. You just need to see something in yourself. And that's the lesson that I've learned these years. And, and obviously that's why you start doing this is because you see something in yourself, but you don't need validation from another person.
Yeah.
You should be enough of your own validation to push forward and to open those doors for yourself. It's helpful when somebody can help you out, but if you don't have that, you don't sit around and be like, well, I don't have anybody making anything happen for me. I hear that all the time. People say that all the time, and it's so exhausting. It's like, well, fucking A, dude. Everyone's trying to get something going.
Nobody's coming to save you.
Coming to save you. Like, just make it happen for yourself, man.
That's the fun of it. That's the creative part of it. I think we get this thought in our head that the creative, what we do as creators is, the art part of it and the filming, the drawing, the painting, the singing, whatever. And yes, that is it. But creating, I think, can also be applied to creating opportunities.
Yeah.
Be a creator. Be smart. And look at don't make the same mistake that I made. This is the mistake I made all through my 20s when I came out here. I did exactly what people I thought who knew better than me told me to do. I cut my hair. I wore the clothes. I did the auditions. I, tried my best to get a six-pack. I did all those things thinking that that's what was necessary. And I lost myself somewhere along the way. And then when it was time to tap back into that artist part of me, that authentic part of me, I couldn't find them. You wear masks long enough and you forget who's underneath them. And that's a scary thought, and it happens to just about all of us. I think if you are in the middle of pursuing this sort of thing, or you're just thinking about starting it, the best advice that I can personally give that I failed at it. It wasn't a permanent failure. It was lessons to be learned. But at the time, I failed at it. And that was what you just said, knowing that you are enough. What we do as artists is, speaking our authentic self into the void and hoping someone else hears it, hope it connects to somebody, right? And zoom out a little bit, be creative about the world around you. Look at like the marketplace, look at like trends, look at all those sort of things. And then don't just try to, okay, that's what's trending, or that's the clothes people are wearing, or that's the thing that actors are doing, so I need to do that. No, look at it, take in the data, and then put it through your filter. Now, how do I, capitalize on this while staying true to myself? What's rather than not capitalize, because I don't like the word capitalize on it. Rather, how do I see this? How do I put this through my filter? How
do I use this to my benefit? And sometimes you can't. And it doesn't feel authentic. And you're like, I'm personally can't. If it doesn't feel good to me, I can't. I tap out. I don't like that. I mean, acting aside, if I'm doing something like in my social media and stuff like that, I really am myself.
Yeah.
And part of that was because I played such a heinous character and got so popular from it.
You're like, I'm not that. I'm not that. I promise.
I have to put myself out there. Otherwise, I'm going to get jumped on the street.
Sure. Call me poor.
All right, I'll put myself out there. Cool.
You want to babysit my kid? No way.
So in those spaces, if I can't jump on something, if it like a trend or anything, if I don't feel like it serves me, I'm like, okay, like that, I don't connect with that thing, or that it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not going to do it. But if it does, I do try to be a little bit clever about it and be like, okay. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, hit or miss, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, I think you're absolutely right. And you've taught me a lot of that. So, there was a question I used to always get asked by one of my reps, and I never had an answer. I would try to manufacture an answer, but I used to get asked, and you'll hear this from people, and it's a valid question. Who are you in the marketplace?
Mm.
I never was able to authentically answer that question, but I think I can now. Who are you in the marketplace? I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm the only me that has ever existed in the history of all of eternity. And I'll be the only me that ever does exist long after I'm gone. So why rob the universe of this one unique being by trying to be something else that already exists? Because one, you're not going to be able to be that thing. You're going to be an imitation of that thing. Maybe a good imitation, but an imitation all the same. The world doesn't need carbon copies. The world needs unique individuals with their own thoughts, feelings, perspectives. We can all learn from each other. But just be you.
Honestly, man, my label reps used to ask me that, right? Yeah. And I would get so like their own version of that, right? Yeah. Of like, okay, and they want to make you this, they want to make that. I never fell into it. So we didn't really get along, like that kind of fell out. But when it came to like acting and stuff, you know, my reps aren't, you know, they're very, you know, it's like kind of a boutique agency. Like I'm not with a big agency at the moment, you know, but it's the only reps I've ever had. And truthfully, one thing that I really appreciated is they never asked me that question. They always sold me as Mair. They always sold me as different. They always sold me as like ThatGirlMair or the brand of her. They never tried to sell me as anything else.
I'm going to tell you why. And it's I'll give them flowers for recognizing what they had. But you need to understand that the reason that happened is because you were so adamant about being yourself that they didn't have to ask. And that's what's beautiful about you. Me, the problem was it was so obvious that I was trying to be anything but me. So the question, I don't think was coming from a place of like, how do we market you? Some of that. But it was more of a question of who you are, because you're not letting me see you. And it's very fucking true. I wasn't letting me see me. And it's only been in the last year or so, year and a half, after doing some soul searching and growing up and things like that, that I realized that was the issue. And it's very empowering. It's scary. But if you can just exist as yourself, and everything else will fall into place when it comes to performance and acting and things like that. If you're just brave enough to just be yourself, it won't be any more unique than that. That's as unique as it could ever be. You know, is it right for that part? Who the fuck knows? That's not your job. Yeah. Your job is to be brave enough to be vulnerable and truthful into these given imaginary circumstances, you know, or music, your authentic voice. It's all the same. So if anything, I feel like this is how we wrap it up. We got deep on some of this on this episode. I love it. I think talking about what we learned from the people who raised us is it takes a village of people. You can't do this all on your own. Learn from everyone around you. Don't be afraid to delegate. Don't be afraid to take chances. Stand up for yourself. Learn from your mistakes. And above all else, no matter what, just be you. It'll be scary. That's okay. Do it scared. The definition of bravery is being afraid to do something but doing it anyway. And the scariest thing for any of us to do is just be ourselves authentically. Yeah. And I challenge you, I challenge anyone. I challenge myself more than anything. And I think if you can do that, I think you have nothing but, you know, beautiful horizons ahead of you.
Do you want to get dinner?
I would love to get dinner. We're going to tap out of this one. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the videos and sketches that we're putting out.
And if you like this podcast, please share it with a friend who you think who would appreciate it. That would really help us out.
Yeah.
Thank you. And our latest sketch is called, we've got a series of these coming out.
Yeah.
Vertical.
Vertic Hell.
We've got a playlist on the channel we'll have. Right now we have one episode, but we have
more on the way.
We got more coming.
Silly
so.
shit. And if you've watched anything from us, this sketch will be very on brand for us and how we feel about some of that stuff. So if you want to giggle and watch us make asses of ourselves, go check it out.
And talk some schmack.
Schmack. Little schmack talking. I'm going to need a fucking snack is what I'm talking.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Up top. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Well, that's a